Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, we shall see how to convert fractions to decimals. So there is a procedure involved in here. We'll talk about the procedure and then we'll try to see if we can implement that procedure to solve some simple problems. So the procedure here is as follows. To write a fraction as a decimal, we want to divide the numerator of the fraction by the denominator. So let us see if we can implement this procedure to solve simple examples. Let's say we have a fraction we want to convert. Let's write this. We want to convert 3 over 4 to a decimal number, to a decimal. So what do? The procedure we said was we'll write it down in these different steps so that way we know what is it we're doing in a logical manner. So we take 3 and then we want to divide that by 4. Whenever a number 3, as we can see, is less than 4, so the way we want to perform this long division is we want to put a decimal point and then add 0 next to that, and therefore we're going to put a decimal point right on top of the decimal point in 3.0, and now we're going to perform the division as if we're going to perform the division of whole numbers. So we're going to recall our 4 times table, and then we're going to say 4 times what number is equal to or less than 30. So 4 times 7 is 28. We're going to subtract as if we're subtracting whole numbers. 30 minus 28 is 2. So we can add as many zeros as possible after the decimal point. So we're going to borrow the 0. So now we're going to repeat the process of 4 times table. 4 times what number is equal to or less than 20. 4 times 5 is equal to 20. So therefore the remainder here is equal to 0. So that is our step 2. So therefore we can then come back here and then say step 3. We can then put it all together as a fraction 3 over 4 can be written in decimal format as 0.75, and that is what we are trying to do in this particular presentation. We are trying to convert fractions to decimals, and this is how we're going to do that. Let us try another problem just similar to this but with different numbers. Let's say let's take another example. In this example we want to convert, let's write it down, we want to convert 5 over 12 to a decimal number, to a decimal. What do? We're going to follow these steps to arrive at an answer. So we take 5 and then we want to divide it by 12. 5 is less than 12, so therefore we're going to put a decimal point next to 5 and then put a 0 next to it. Now we're going to perform the division as if we're going to perform division of whole numbers. So since we put a point after the 5, we're going to put a decimal point just above the point there, and now we're going to perform the division as if we're going to perform the whole number division. So we're going to read this number as 50, and now we're going to recall our 12 times table and then say it as 12 times what number is equal to or less than 50. 12 times 4 is 48. We subtract as if we are subtracting whole numbers. So 50 minus 48 is equal to 2. So we can add any number of zeros after the decimal place, so decimal point. So now therefore we borrow this 0. So we repeat our 12 times table. 12 times what number is equal to or less than 20. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. So therefore we cannot use 2. So we subtract. 20 minus 12 is going to be equal to 8, and then we add another 0 and then borrow that here. So now we're going to repeat our 12 times table again. 12 times what number is equal to or less than 80? 12 times 6 is 72. So when we subtract, we go 72 minus 80 is going to be equal to 80 minus 72 is going to be equal to 8, and therefore this is going to repeat. So if we add another 0 here, and if we borrow that, it is going to be 12 times 6 is 72, and as we can see, this number is going to repeat for a long time. It is going to be repeating, and therefore we can then come back here and then write this as, stop the process here and then write this one as follows. A fraction 5 over 12 can be written out as 0.4166 recurring. The dash on the top of 6, that line indicates, a line on top of the 6 indicates that the number is going to repeat. So we can also say that it is approximately equal to 0.417 if we want to round it up to that type of to the 10th, 100th, 1000th place, like that. So this is how we do. This is the procedure to follow to be able to convert fractions to decimals. In my next presentation, we shall look at some more examples to see how we can convert fractions to decimals.